Build. Yes, you are correct to woo as such. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build studio in New York City. Mr. Iglesias, the new Netflix original sitcom series, drops in just 2 days. Executive produced and starring literally one of the most famous comedians in the world. Fan anticipation is high. Here to tell us all about it, two ridiculously funny people, stars of Mr. Iglesias, Gabriel Iglesias himself, and the great Sherri Shepherd are in the building. How do you feel about that? You guys excited? I'm excited. They're excited. Everybody's excited. We're going to bring them out in just a moment, but first, I believe we have a trailer for the show, so let's go ahead and run that clip.
We got 5 minutes to go over all of American history.
Wiped out the indigenous people, oppressed the blacks, did some good stuff around World War II, and now the sun is setting on our empire.
Yeah, I guess we did cover it all. No one teaches history like I do.
That's why I let you slide with the dress code.
You can't hide these calves from the rest of the world. I can't get my leg off. Except for these letters, you're being expelled. So many people have turned their backs on these kids, and I don't want to be one of those people.
We're not turning our backs on them. It's turning our faces to the good students.
I am a mess inside. Do you have any idea how much pressure there is on a young black man to act like he knows how to handle the ladies? Michael B. Jordan has ruined it for the rest of us.
Mario Lopez did that for my people. You clearly don't understand what it's like for first-generation Latina growing up in this country.
I've seen Selena.
Bling, bling, shine bright like a diamond. Oh,
I've been working to close the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Have you had any luck?
I have not.
I will make this an Elite 100 school by any means necessary.
I know that quote. Civil rights activist Malcolm X.
What?
Wakanda forever.
Mr. Iglesias saved the day! We love him and his hat!
Oh, you better go crazy right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Iglesias and Sherri Shepherd are right here.
These are the heaviest microphones.
Yeah, the mic flags are weighted. It's just so we can...
so you can't steal them.
That's congratulations. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. This show is fantastic. 2 days
Thank you.
away. You got to be very excited.
2
right
days
now.
away. I'm excited. We come out the same day as Child's Play.
That's
Perfect.
right.
Yes,
So
Chucky
when
and
you
Fluffy. Same day.
Yeah.
Chucky and Fluffy.
Chucky and Fluffy.
Oh, man, the marketing right
Tell them
itself.
to laugh.
Chucky and Fluffy.
Chucky and Fluffy, same day.
Perfect. You could watch half the season, see the movie, come back, watch the second
you
half.
go.
It's a whole experience. Is it an extended cinematic universe? Do the narratives tie together? Is there a Chucky in here that I missed in the background at some point?
Is there a Chucky and Gabe? He couldn't be Chucky if he tried.
They wouldn't take me serious. Like,
Nothing
I'm gonna kill you. You're so cute.
Exactly.
You're so sweet.
Look, he said he was gonna kill me. Oh.
Gonna kill these pancakes.
I saw the ad in Times Square. That's amazing.
I know, right? Netflix got some money. Yeah, we're right above a
Very
Starbucks.
cool. We are.
Anytime you can get that kind of real estate, that's a good sign.
That was
right there.
so cool.
Right above Starbucks.
I know I backed up and I tripped over the cones and I was like, oh my God, that's me. It's like, it was so big up there.
Well, she was out there at 1 a.m. That's why there was cones. like, why was there cones? Why was there cones?
But that's also, Netflix notoriously releases, I don't know, a million things every day. It's a vote of confidence where they go, this is the thing. Let's put them up in Times Square. People are going to want to see this show. That's a big deal.
Because this week I think they released a movie by Anthony Anderson.
Yes, I saw it.
I ran,
Beats.
Beats.
You were with
Yeah,
Anthony.
I ran into him in Miami. I go, what you doing here? He goes, I'm promoting my Netflix project. I go, I'm promoting my Netflix project too. He goes, well, you watch mine, I'll watch yours.
Half the people in this audience, as soon as we're done, they get up here, they promote their Netflix
Yeah.
project. It's an amazing time right now to be creative.
It's a revolving door over there.
This show, though, it is so good. I was telling you guys backstage, in my line of work, I got to watch a million things, but I got to the end of the first episode, I was like, I got to watch it. I'm going to keep watching. Let me watch another one. And I just kept going because it's so funny. And as I said, it reminds me, it's both new and nostalgic simultaneously. It reminds me of a show that I would have watched when I was younger, and but it's still so fresh and still relevant and new to now. And you guys really struck a great balance. How long have you wanted? This is the dream for a stand-up. This is it, a show with your name on it.
And I think that's one of those that's pre-programmed in you as a stand-up comic in the beginning. It's that whole, you want to do the Tonight Show, you want to have an HBO special, and you want a sitcom. Yeah. And if movies happen, that's cool.
Won't say no to that.
Yeah, won't say no to that. But that's always been the pre-programmed
This
one.
is the dream. How much of this show are finally the realization of ideas, specific ideas or jokes that you've had kicking around in your head since you were
Well, first of all, it is based on an idea of something that could have happened. It was very close to happening. I was supposed to be a school teacher.
Supposed to? Wait, really?
Yeah, I took a course in high school called exploratory teaching, and I guess I had a gift for getting attention. Yeah, still. And I was offered a full scholarship in the Long Beach Unified School District to come back and teach. I just had to teach for 4 years, and then everything was free and clear.
Wow. What would you teach? What were you teaching? Was it history?
I don't even know what I would have taught. It was just one of those things where we went to elementary schools. We taught, children, and they said that I was really good at getting their attention. And if you can get their attention, you can teach them. That's amazing. Yeah.
And you were like, if I can get people's attention, I can make them laugh. If I can make them laugh, I could be on the Tonight Show.
With time. And so it was one of those, I knew that I wanted to do this for a living. Yeah. I just didn't know how I was going to get into it, but my mom was not happy. She was not happy because this was guaranteed. She said, Mijo, you're going to have benefits. Benefits, Mijo, benefits. I'm like, I'm 18. What is that, cereal? What's that? Have your benefits. Have your benefits. No, and she's like, you're going to have insurance. And I'm at 18, you don't care about
think of
insurance.
that.
You're indestructible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do I have now? You have good luck.
That's amazing.
But it worked out, and comedy didn't kick off like this in the beginning. It was a struggle. I've known Sherri for 20 plus years, and we both remember.
Gave me a ride home when we were struggling comics.
Because her car,
Struggling comics, and my car was repossessed, and I didn't have a ride home, and Gabe gave me a ride home. Your car sounded kind of crazy.
Yeah, but my car was supposed to be repossessed too. I was just better at hiding it than her. Yeah, she got all cocky, I'll put it in front of the house. I'm like, no, I'm gonna put that down by 7-Eleven.
Moving it. That's the secret.
That's
constant motion.
Constant motion.
Sherri, did you ever entertain the idea of a career in academia at all? Did you ever think of being a teacher or anything?
I used to get in so
She
much
schools
trouble.
men all the time.
Oh, the school in me.
The school is right
She
now.
schools
Come here,
men.
let mama teach you. No, I got in trouble a lot in school. I was in detention a lot, but I had one counselor who would say, you think you're the class clown. I don't know what you're gonna do with your life, so thank you. But no, I couldn't teach. I was always in detention. I apologize to every administrator out there. I'm so sorry, because I'm so nice now. I was just a bitch. Oh my God. Not mean. I just didn't like school.
You didn't like school?
No, I did.
Yeah.
It was too easy for me. I got great grades. It's just too easy. Yeah. And so I never.
You weren't challenged enough.
I wasn't challenged. Yeah.
I feel you.
See, ever the teacher. He identified it right away. He goes, oh, she needed to be challenged.
We relate.
I see. Were you challenged?
Yeah, emotionally, physically, spiritually.
So many layers.
So
to
many
this.
layers of challenges. Constant challenge. Always a challenge in my life.
But it's so great seeing. It's so great, like playing a principal and seeing how the other side is and what the other side. And that's what I think is so brilliant about Gabe and what he's done with Mr. Iglesias, because he has brought the funny in it. It's, people love it. It's a 4-camera sitcom in front of an audience, but it's like real life issues that the kids go through. It's real life issues that the administration goes through. So you get to see that other side of the teachers' lives and the administration lives and what the kids go through now. Because I think the first episode is about them wearing the clear backpacks to school, and they do the protests.
It's pretty early in there, yeah. It's early on. You have that. There's bullying. There's a student who has to work to help support her family. There's an episode about inclusive language. There's all these amazing of-the-time topics that are happening in schools right now. Did you guys have a big meeting where you sat down and you're like, what are all the things we really want to talk about in this first season?
There wasn't a big meeting. Well, not one that I attended. I think part of having a successful project is knowing your strengths and recognizing your weaknesses and knowing when to take a step back and allowing those professionals to step into those roles. Like, there's always people that want to take full control. Like, they get their own show, and I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. You know, I'm the writer, director, producer, freaking janitor, craft services, you know, dog walker, everything. And there's certain things you sign up for, and certain things you got to just respect the, you know, the work that everyone's doing.
So for you, like top of the call sheet, name on the marquee, that's more about I'm gonna make sure I put the right team together. I don't need to do everything.
Making sure that the right team is put together and trusting the other people in the shows to be creative, to give them that platform to say, hey, do what you do best.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna tell Sherri how to be funny.
Yeah, that's just it. Sure.
You can, though. He gives such great suggestions. That's the thing I respect about Gabe. So when he says this might work, or if you try this, you respect him so much because he's funny.
Yeah. And then I always bring snacks, so I'll sneak food under the set. Yeah, that's the key to having a successful show. Good craft services.
If you go to a set and it doesn't have great craft service,
my show has food trucks.
Twice weekly.
Twice a week.
Twice a week, food
Yes.
trucks.
So, and then literally, that is a happy set when you feed your cast.
Yeah.
That means a lot. That means the set is really, really happy.
We mix it up. So
don't
we
don't underestimate.
We have variety among the trucks.
We have the hot dog trucks, the taco trucks, the gourmet,
The ice cream and chocolate
ice cream
truck,
the churro trucks,
the
and
churro
we have
truck.
we have those gluten-free trucks for those people, you know.
When you gonna bring? For those, the others.
For those, the gluteners.
The allergen-free truck.
Free truck, yeah.
That is remarkably accommodating. That is really nice.
Yeah, everybody happy.
Speaking about some of the, Sherri, you've been on some of the funniest shows on television. Most recently, you were amazing in Trial and Error. I loved you.
Very much.
How do
Appreciate
you decide where to set up camp and be funny? How do you say this is where I want to go and be funny? This is a show I want to be a part of.
You know, it's so hard. You got the big ones like a 30 Rock and a Trial and Error, and then I just come off that, and I have been working with Gabe on some stuff, and then Kevin Hinch, our executive producer, called, and they found out I was free and asked, and he said, and Gabe really likes you, and they offered me this part. So first of all, you don't get a lot of opportunities. People offer you a role, and you don't have to audition. And they said something that really got me. They just
have cash.
And they have cash.
We have cash.
They pay you in cash. But they said, we want to work with nice people. We want to come to work, and we know that you're a nice person. And at this point in my life, and I've done so much, and I've worked with stars who are just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be in my dressing room. Call me when the hissy fit is over. And I just said, I want to work with nice people, too. And I've always had such a respect for Gabe. And I read the script, and to me, it was brilliantly written, and it was in front of a live audience. So I got back to my stand-up roots.
And Gabe, you knew that she said didn't have to audition. It was an offer, so you knew you needed Sherri.
It was straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like, Sherri, can you come in here? And, you know, like, come on, I used to give her rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
I ain't going nowhere.
Did Sherri at all?
You're here to audition? Fool, I know where you live. All right?
Did that come from your friendship and your years of working together? Did Sherri have a side that reminds you at all of authority figures from when you were?
She's a pro, and she's funny, and that's what we needed.
That's
for
what
the
you
show.
needed. That was it. Yeah.
But above all, we're friends.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the entire cast, what Gabe does, he's very secure in who he is. His name is Mr. Iglesias. It's the name of the show. He didn't mind putting real strong people on the show. So we have Maggie Gayha from the show Gotham. We have Jacob Vargas, who's in everything but Crash. Next Friday, we have Richard Gant from Greenleaf, and Oscar Nuñez from The Office. I mean, you got a cast of characters like that, and then you got Mr. Iglesias. It's just a recipe for success.
When you have that many amazing, talented, funny, gifted people working together, the writing on the show is super tight. The jokes come really fast, but do you leave room for everyone to play every once in a while and go, no, you're all a bunch of stand-ups. Oscar, a famed improvisational comedian. I mean, like, everybody knows they got the chops. Did you have fun?
It was nothing but fun. There was only one episode where I had a tough time, and I think it was because I was dealing with some food issues. Yeah, it was the one day I didn't hit the food truck. I went independent. You know, I left the stage. Yeah, I was really sick one day, and that was the only rough one. But every other show was just so much fun. And yes, there's a creative freedom because we'll do the scene, you know, 2, 3, 4 times. And not because we messed it up, but can we make it better, or even can we make it so that they're not laughing as much if they hear it the third time? Yeah. You know, that we had a problem with people laughing too much. That was a note. There's too much laughter. People are gonna think it's fake. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're like, oh, canned laughs. They're not canned. These people are there. They're there. They're getting free T-shirts.
What a weird. What a crazy note, like, to have to then address. Like, we have to find a sweet spot of funny. Like, we can't be too funny.
The good part, though, is that it's not like traditional network where it's timed at 22. It has to be on the dot. This can be, some might be 22, some might be 25, 26, depending on, how fun it was. The shows are tight, though.
I mean, I get the impression, regardless of what you guys wanted to talk about or do, Netflix, they just believed in you, let you go do your own thing. There was never any, hey, we're going to talk about a kid that's dealing with this, or hey, this issue's going to happen. They never said, well, you got to be careful with that. You don't have to say, like, how were they creatively? They let you do your thing?
They're more supportive than anything else. That's the one thing I really appreciate, because I've been on the other side where you got 5 people looking at you that have probably never written a joke or a script or had a really original idea, and they're telling you what you need to do in order to justify their position. Netflix, I say Netflix is like a bunch of people hanging out in a garage with a bunch of money, and they're just like, yeah, do what you want, all right? It's cool. I got an idea. I bet it's good. Yeah, all right. They show up. There's maybe 10 minutes of like, well, just one. Literally, every script that we do the table read, it was maybe 1 to 2 notes per script, which is insane. That's wild, yeah. Insane. So
you would get on the set, Gabe would get on the set, and he'd say, I just feel like this would work better. Like he just has this instinctual thing that he knows it would work a certain way if we did. And it always did in front of the audience. He just knew, you know what, it's going to hit if I do it this way. Or, Sherri tried this, and this is going to work. And it always did.
One of the other things I loved about it too is I think often when a stand-up makes that jump and they go and they get their first show and their name is on it and all that stuff, a lot of times you'll see them kind of fold in bits of their act or something like that. And I feel like what we get here is you being you being funny, everybody being true to this world. We're not shoehorning in old jokes or stories. We're getting new Gabriel. We're getting new Mr. Iglesias, and it's really fun to see that. Was that a mission from the beginning of like, I want this to not just be?
It was one of those challenges that we spoke of earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, me learning to take material that was given to me and run with it. Because I'm so used to doing my own thing, and it's like, all right, here we go. And there was a couple times where I would say, well, maybe if this wasn't, try to tweak things. And then I just learned, you know what? Save my idea until we have a live studio audience. This way, I'll do it their way the first time, and then I'll do it my way the second time. Yeah. And this way, we'll go with whichever one does better. Yeah.
What a great little environment you guys have built for yourself. It sounds like it was amazing, very collaborative, lots of love. Before we go, I have to talk about, before we go to the audience here for some questions, the kids on this show are fantastic. Their timing, they're so talented.
Very talented.
How did you cast your class? How did you find, how did you pick the kids?
With a laptop.
Ah.
With a laptop, that's how we did it.
I've never worked with better kids in my life. Coy Stewart, Gloria Ong, Cricachino, Tucker Albrisi. They came in and they have never taped a show in front of a live studio audience. Yeah. So it was so much fun to see them go, oh my gosh, a blooper when they messed up. They were just, they saw the electricity that happened. And it's so much fun working with these kids.
Does that make it all, when you get to like kind of relive it through their eyes, like you've been on sets before, you've seen those moments, you know it, and then like it's just reinvigorating. It's a whole new world. It's like doing it all over again. Yeah, it's
definitely just
yeah, they're so bright-eyed. Like you said,
taking a kid to Disneyland.
It is.
You're like, it's freaking Mickey.
You
whatever.
Walked in.
This is Mickey. Oh boy. Yeah, whatever. Oh boy. Yeah, here, say hi to Mickey.
They ran and we had our dressing rooms, and they all wanted to see the dress. I've been on so many daggone sets. I was like, this is my dressing room. But they were like, oh my God, Miss Sherri, look, you got a bathroom. It was so great living through them.
I remember towards the the last 3 weeks, I had brought an Xbox to the set in a portable briefcase, and I just gave it to them. I go, here, because there was a lot of breaks for the kids, and so here, go have fun. And like, and they all just took off, and we didn't hear from them for a while. Whereas before, they'd be sitting there, and then the people on the set that were like the set designers would make little toys for them. They would play with little spinners and just this basic stuff.
Keep them busy. Keep the kids busy.
Keep them busy. But when I brought the video game, it was over.
But they were used to doing, single camera shows where they did the script as it was, and then to get with Gabe, because he's their teacher, to see them crack up and go, oh, we can let go. it was really nice to see.
Was there ever a version of this in the early days where it was going to be single cam instead of multicam, or did you know from the beginning, this is what I want?
You know what? The conversation was there about a single cam. I had done an episode of Modern Family, and Modern Family is single cam. So it was a funny episode. I'm there playing I'm playing Rico's dad because they said I looked like I looked like the little kid from Modern Family. Oh, now they see it. Huh? They're like,
Oh
yeah, I see it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I used to look like him back in the day when I had hair and hope. It was pretty awesome. But I spoke with Ed O'Neill. Remember Al Bundy from back in the day? But I mean, he's the star of the show. And I asked him, I says, so this versus having a studio audience, what do you think? And he goes, you know what? Single cam, he found that he was able to do a lot more because he didn't have to worry about the laughs.
Right.
And he said that having a studio audience, sometimes it messed with his timing. And I really sat and thought about it. But for me, I come from a place where I need that feedback. Yeah. So I was the complete opposite with him, whereas I always felt insecure having no audience. Because then it's like, well, how's it going?
Right.
It's a little harder. I know, like, doing 30 Rock, because it's a single camera show, you have to, as a stand-up comic, you have to find those laughs in your head. But there were times, like I remember I had to say to Tina Fey, did you hit me, your white hand, you put it on my black hand, and there was nothing. I was like, was that racist? Oh my. Or I had to pull her hair out, or I had to do something with Tracy Morgan, and I'm like, I don't know if it's fun. You didn't hear it, and and they send me in a chair, and they go, say ham 100 times, ham, but nobody's laughing. When they would say cut, then everybody laughs, and I'm like, this makes my stomach hurt. I need audience like laughter right away. Then you know it works, or what you have to change, or what you have to tweak. So it's kind of like you just got to trust that it works.
Yeah, if you got Tracy there, you know it's gonna work.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, if he ain't hearing the voices in his head, it just.
Yo, I know what you mean there, Sherri. Yeah.
I just feel like they're just coming after me.
Yo, Walmart.
You're Tracy Morgan and my Tracy.
Your impressions are like impressions of each other's.
Yeah, that works for me.
He's always in, I'm going to get you pregnant, Sherri.
Yo, I'm gonna impregnate you, Sherri.
This is the set. This is the set.
That's pretty amazing. All right, last thing. I
couldn't do this on ABC, could we?
No. Nor NBC.
I told you, it's the internet. You can do whatever you want out here. This is it. All right, before we go to I know I said I had one more thing, but there is one more thing that I want to bring up because you're both super busy. Sherri, you just launched as well, like a week or two ago on Game Show Network, a brand new game show that you're hosting.
Oh yeah, it's called Best Ever Trivia Show.
Yeah.
It's on the Game Show Network. Because I love game shows. I used to host the Newlywed Game, and I love game shows. So whenever they come to me and say, "Would you do this?" I love it. Being in that environment, I love trivia. So Ken Jennings, who was the longest running Jeopardy player, is one of the people that is on my show all the time. So it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. And of course, you love, in front of an audience, you shine, you have the best time in the world. Yes, yeah, exactly. Still doing stand-up.
So I'm in New York. I'm at July 13th. I'm at the King's Theater in Brooklyn. You're in New York, too.
Yeah. Well, you're everywhere.
I was here last week.
Oh, you were here last week.
I'm here now, but I was here last week.
Simultaneously,
it's so
you
funny.
exist
I
in
got
both
to go on
planes.
the road with Gabe. It was so funny. I got to do stand-up with Gabe. And like, Gabe is so huge. He's one of the top 10 touring comics in the world. So he's not driving cars that are getting repossessed. And he says to me, this is how big he is. I'm doing Brooklyn. And he goes, can you do stand-up with me? And I said, what? Like, are we going to Santa Monica? He was like, no, Hawaii. And I go, well, what comedy club? He's like, no, we do arenas. So it's like 8,000, which is small for Gabe, because he's like 30,000 people. 8,000 people who came to it was electric all night.
Well, that brings me up to Gabe, talking about how busy you are. Gabe, you have dates until like December. I'm sure you got dates beyond December. You're just not telling us yet.
Yeah.
But you have, You are not only in the top 10 in one of the most popular, but you're one of the hardest working comedians. I couldn't believe how many dates you got up in the schedule. One, you must love it to do it that much.
I do love it.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and the fact that I'm around good people, and plus I get to bring my dogs. So
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's the dream gig right there. And where do people go to get tickets to one of the myriad of shows?
Well, red camera. There you go. For more tickets and information, go to fluffyguy.com. That's right, fluffyguy.com. If that's too much, just Google the word fluffy. You can find everything me related. I beat out bunnies, quilts, comforters, cotton candy. If you Google Fluffy right now, I am the #1 thing that pops up. I have taken over the word fluffy.
You own a word.
I own a word.
Wow, really?
I dare you to try.
Are you getting
I dare you
that
to
with
call
me?
BS on me right now.
Oh my God.
Google it.
Own a word.
You can Yahoo it too. It works both
Yeah,
ways.
yeah, we're done.
Yahoo
You
it,
can-
Bing
yeah.
it, Google it.
Yeah, it's gonna see.
Do you own the fluffy, the videos that come, the wonka fluffy?
No, that's fluffer.
Oh, okay.
That's fluffer. That's a whole different profession.
Different one, sorry.
Still respected, but it's different.
You guys are the best. All right, I'm going to remind everybody that's watching right now, 2 days, the 21st, Netflix, the whole series drops, and you're not going to be able to stop watching it. It's so fantastic.
And Child's Play. And Child's Play. Don't forget Chucky.
And don't forget Chucky and
Child's
Fluffy.
Play.
Don't forget Chucky.
Chucky and Fluffy in 2 days. It's going to be a great, confusing weekend. We've got some questions in the room, and we're going to start with one from Twitter. This is from @HappyGalDiaries. Question for both. What was something you wish you had learned in school, and what was something you did learn, but it turned out to be untrue? Ooh. Yeah.
I went to geometry and trigonometry. It was the complete, unless you're gonna be an engineer or an architect, complete waste of my time. Learning trigonometry don't teach me how to count my money. So I wish I would have just dropped out after basic math. But my parents made me do it, and I'm a comic. I never used trigonometry ever. Never.
Gabe?
Well, one thing that I guess I would have learned, what's something you did learn, but it turned out to not be true? Okay, well, I took they don't offer it anymore, but I took a course called Driver's Ed.
Oh.
Yeah, where they
Driver's
teach you.
Ed anymore?
I don't think so. Well, not in California.
Okay, fair enough.
you
Keep
go
going.
out
As
there.
you were. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, they, I was supposed to learn how to drive in school and everything, and no, our teacher let us watch a lot of car movies. Yeah, that's.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You see what they're doing there?
I
Do
think,
that.
I think he had glaucoma, and so he was just real. But as far as one thing I wish I would have learned, you know what? Algebra, just to say that I could have done it, because I got to a certain place where I was. I'll tell you what I did. I would intentionally mess up my placement test so I could have an easier class, so I could coast. Look at some of you like
you weren't challenged.
that's the genius. Yeah. Well, I didn't stress. Yeah, I coasted.
How early did you know I'm going to be a comedian, so I'm going to coast here? Did that...
I knew I wanted to be a comic when I was age 10.
Wow.
Age 10, I was in a school talent show, and I got that bug where I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know I'm going to do it one day.
That's it. Sherri, how old were you when you realized I'm going to be funny?
Probably about 10. We used to
Yeah.
have our family, like the Shepherds would have the family like talent shows, and I always made people laugh. I didn't know I was going to do anything with it,
Right.
but it's kind of natural. Yeah.
Felt it, yeah.
I just kind of felt it.
Well, thank you so much for that question. We've got a bunch in the room. Kate, how many in the room? I've got 5. Let's do this. Fantastic. We're going to get to as many as we can. First one right here in the front. Go.
Hi. Your shoes are as epic as his.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I
got that
know, they
same-
are so
that
cool,
blue.
right? I do stand-up comedy too.
I already have openers.
Yes. you wanna? I need a job. I'm not good people too. So my question is, in what moment you knew that you can make a living in comedy? Like,
Well, are you trying to do stand-up to make a living, or are you doing stand-up because you love doing stand-up?
because I love it. Like, I need to do a lot of extra jobs because I cannot.
That's normal.
For example, I have a gig this Friday, but I still need to work, and go to school and things like that. So, in what moment you knew that you can make a living with comedy, with this?
I think when I was able to move out of my sister's house, because my sister supported me for a while after I quit my job. So it took me about 4 years before I was actually making a living at it. I mean, I was struggling.
Yeah, we struggled for a long time. Most of these guys, Jamie Foxx stayed with me for a minute because he got put out by his girlfriend, who's a stalker. She put him out, and I remember I gave him $50. He still never paid me my $50. He got a
Jamie
haircut.
Foxx still owes you $50?
He still owes me $50. He stayed with me over the weekend because he didn't have a place to stay. Like comics, that's just part of the game. You have to struggle because that's where your material is going to come from. And so I would say if you love it, keep doing it. The money's going to come as long as you're doing what you love. So you when you get your first $100, that's you then made a living.
And people will tell you too, just get a real job. Stop, they'll try to discourage you from it because they don't understand what it is that you're trying to do. but it's one of those you got to just stick it out. And for some people, it happens quickly. Some people, it takes a long time.
I don't know any stand-up comics that it just happened so quickly. Like you, like
Well,
overnight.
you know, the whole YouTube.
With the
sensation,
YouTube, with that social
you know,
media, it's a little differently. But like if you're on that
happens
stage,
quick, like under 3 years.
right? Yeah, you're on that stage. You get on that stage and you just keep doing it, and that's how you get better. So that when something happens, the opportunity comes, you're prepared. Because you don't want to be in an audition with me, girl. You got to be ready. You don't want to be on. You want to be ready when the opportunity comes.
It's a great question. Thank you. All right, let's go to our next one. Who's got the microphone right here? Go for it.
You both have been in entertainment for more than 20 years, and you both brought different aspects to the industry. So what is something that you both learned from each other that's new while filming the show?
From each other?
Yeah.
This is gonna sound like a 4-year-old, but I learned how to handle my script better because she taught me that if you crinkle the edges on the script, it makes it easier for you to access your pages versus having to keep licking your finger and trying to flip and find that spot. It's a trick that she learned from.
That is, whenever you go on an audition, crinkle the corners of your pages and then smooth them out. And then when you're like on an audition or something, you can turn the pages really easy.
I
What
know,
a cool tip.
but I still apply that now to every time I read a script. I'll crinkle the pages and I will go, freaky Sherri.
You think of her every time.
Yeah, I got that from Mary Lou Henner from Taxi.
From Taxi.
But I learned from him about being gracious, about when you're the star of the show, because that's usually when it goes, it trickles down from the top. The entire set, the vibe of the set comes from the star. And if the star is crazy out of their mind, everybody else is crazy. And I learned from Gabe about being gracious and treating people with kindness. And you have to feed them.
You're making it sound like you were mean and vicious before you met.
No,
I learned I did not need to be vile.
I'm an
and
abused
vicious.
actress. I'm telling you, I didn't come from some places, Gabe. So it just being gracious, being nice to people, no matter who they are, extras or the executive producer, because that extra, you'll turn around and they are the executive producer of a doggone show. And that's what I got from Gabe.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you. Next one, Mike.
I wish I would have said more than just the paper crinkle. I learned how to crinkle my paper from hanging out with Sherri. Thank you, Sherri.
That's an ode to me. Thank you.
Well, it's definitely an honor to be here in this audience. Your chemistry is amazing. And so I want to know, do you have future episodes, that's set up with Netflix? Or do you have future
Like another
projects?
season or something like that?
Season.
That's entirely up to to Netflix.
And whether you watch the show.
Yeah.
That's in your hands.
That's on you, girl.
Yeah.
That's the
And
only
future
disadvantage
projects?
with Netflix versus traditional television is traditional television will give you exact numbers. 500,000 tuned in, 1 million tuned in, 2 million, so that this way they can justify bringing a show back or letting it go. Netflix, I think they just look at the show and go, we like it, just leave it on. Just leave it on. Or out. Because they'll never tell you the numbers of people that tuned in. Sometimes they'll write something and they'll claim that it's that number, but even I'm like, I don't know.
Your name's on that's you, on the poster. They won't tell you how your show.
No, they will not tell me. They'll just give me clues. They'll give me clues that the show is doing. Like with comedy specials, that they give me clues. Like if you call them and they answer.
Oh, they answer the phone?
They answer the phone, that's a good clue. Because I've called in the past other networks and they're like, yeah, we're out to lunch. I'm like, but it's morning. Yeah, we're out to lunch. And Netflix is like, hey, buddy. That's what Netflix sounds like when you call them and they like you. Hey, buddy. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's they're all about numbers and equations and algorithms. So it's very calculated the way that they work versus someone else. I'm doing this show with already a fan base coming in. So mathematically speaking, everything made sense. Yeah. So if their math works, this show should be a success. But you never know.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed in the
Nothing's
business.
guaranteed.
We got 2 left. Next one right here. Go for it.
Hi, Gabriel. Your description of Chico's Tacos is like the most on point description.
You're wearing the shirt.
Yes. My hometown.
Are you from El Paso?
Yes, I am.
915?
Yep. 915. So I was just going to ask you what your standard order at Chico's Tacos is.
Usually just quesadilla and the little taco boat.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very basic.
Yeah.
Very basic.
I don't know.
I like a plain cheese quesadilla. That's how easy I am. Remember when Heather would make the quesadilla? Just a plain cheese. We're like, really? That's all you want? Just a quesadilla? That's how I live my life. Just a piece of cheese and a tortilla.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
That's all you need. One more, Kate. Beautiful. Let's do it. Last question. Go for it.
Hi, my question is for Mr. Fluffy.
So serious.
Yeah, it's so great to see you.
Oh, thank you. I thought I was about to get
It's so
novela right here.
exciting.
Like, déjate digo algo. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay, since you're a super comedian, I would like to know, do you have like a whole group of people helping you brainstorming to come up with ideas?
Oh, good question. No.
No, just you?
No, it's and again, I thought about it, but then I've gotten this far being able to just do everything on my own. I do have people that I will collaborate with. For example, sometimes I'll take a buddy of mine named Rick Gutierrez on the road and another friend named Matt Golightly, and they'll study my set and they'll break it down and say, you got the biggest laugh here, you got the biggest laugh here, this makes sense here, this makes sense here. But they just help me put the set together, but not really come up with ideas and stuff. Because I think I try to make the show as personal as possible. This way no one can say, oh, you copied this from someone.
Mhm.
If I make it all about myself, no one can say, oh, he's stealing.
True, like a system.
Because there's already, if you add everything, there's about over 10 hours of content
Wow.
that just straight stand up. And so to be able to stay original is very hard. And I think that if you rely on other people, you never know how they got inspired, and you don't want that to trickle down.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question. Does it get harder the more you do, the more you unearth and talk about, and the more you uncover, you go, I already did that. I already did that.
Let me tell you something. My life is so random. The material just happens. 2 hours ago, I had the opportunity to meet Howie Mandel. Yeah. I met him over on another show. That's right. You're not the only game in town, Bill. We met him on another show. And when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, Howie, we're saying hi and everything. And I took a picture with him. And then he looks at me and he goes, hey, mind if we do a quick video? And I go, oh my God, yeah, I'd love to do a video. He goes, well, I'm taping I got my show back, Deal or No Deal. And he goes, would you mind telling my fans to watch Deal or No Deal? And I go, sure. And so he gives me the camera and everything. And I'm like, hey, guys, this is Gabriel Iglesias here with my friend Howie Long. And I just want to remind you to watch Deal or No Deal tonight at 9 p.m. And I didn't realize I just called Howie Mandel Howie Long, which is a former Raider. I'm a Raider fan. And Howie Long just flowed better than Howie Mandel. And the fact that he still spoke to me after that was pretty awesome. But I'm like, oh my God, I can't have, I needed 8 Snickers. 8 Snickers and 4 Southwest Airlines flights because I needed to get away. But something like that. It's just, who has that? Who has that? And see, a moment like that, I could totally run with it.
Well, we've totally run with this talk. I've had an absolute blast with you. Thank you to both of you for coming here and hanging out and doing this. It's been so much fun. Thank you to the audience for being a great audience, having wonderful questions. You guys were great. Those tuning in out there, your question was great from Twitter as well. And a final reminder, 2 days, Chucky and Fluffy, the 21st.
That's right.
That's Chucky and Fluffy, baby.
Special shout out to Rihanna and Sofia Vergara for showing up here to ask questions.
Yes. It's going to be on Netflix. It's amazing. I loved it. You're going to love it. One more time, everybody, let's make them feel at home. A ridiculous amount of noise. Gabriel Iglesias and Sherri Shepherd right here. Come on.